The psychic ability has been a controversial topic of how legit it is for many years. Undoubtedly, there has been many stories of how people with no known psychic ability have conned audiences and believers of one-to-one situations out of their money. They mimic the psychic ability to the recipient into thinking they are in touch with the spiritual world and can predict their future. However, despite skeptics, there has been scientific research that has suggested psychic abilities do have some credibility. Some have acclaimed such detail in events before they have even happened, and they have all become true. Join me on my journey to discover more about the psychics in my local area and the weird and wonderful subject of psychic power. I'm now on my way to meet Tina Wilkins. She's a clairvoyant medium, and she hopefully will tell me a bit more about the psychic sort of topic. Should be good. Okay, so what exactly is it that you do, like day-to-day basis or?
A day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
I tend to do whatever comes my way because I truly believe that my life is guided by spirit. So instead of going out there and trying to find the work tends to come to me. This lady was very set in what she did, yeah, and she's saying that isn't always the way.
How would you explain, like you say you hear these voices, like how would you explain that to someone who doesn't know anything about psychic?
Well, it's called clairaudient, or sometimes we have to call it, for TV, we have to call it psychic hearing, okay? And basically there's two types. The first type, which is the one that I'm most familiar with, it sort of enters my head sort of here. So it's like an inner voice, but it's not my voice, and it talks to me. And it just, sometimes it gives me words, names, sometimes it sings me a little bit of a song. Born free. She's giving me, born free. Yeah, I'm gonna sing. And it just throws in the words, and as the words come in, I also use something called clairsentience, which is feeling, psychic feeling, and you get from the words and the feeling, and then sometimes you get a picture, which is the clairvoyance or psychic seeing. You can then sort of build up a framework. So it's a bit like taking a jigsaw puzzle and you put it together and you present it when you're doing a reading. This isn't somebody in their later years, and I feel I want to go this side of 50, so it could have even been him celebrating a 40th. So, oh, you again.
Do you know what? I said to him before it came out, I know it's your birthday on Sunday, but just let someone else have the message. He's 40 on Sunday.
Oh,
it would have been.
He would have been 40th on Sunday. And you can understand this.
So you say about this energy, like how would you describe that?
Energy. Well, we've all got energy, as in unseen energy, and I often get people to play with the energy ball to demonstrate that, because if you move your hands in and out, you start to feel that there's something between them even though you can't see anything. So there's a lot of unseen energy. There's also thoughts. So not everything that you hear and feel is a spiritual, or should we say someone from another dimension. It can be someone who's sending you thoughts because you're on their mind, and so they're like bombarding you. I really must speak to Sophie, I really must speak to Sophie. And you can pick it up sometimes as a bit of a headache, and then that person will ring you and it goes because they were trying to get hold of you, and so the thought form. But if you're on the same thought form, what will happen is you will suddenly think about that person without getting the headache, and bingo, then they'll phone and you'll go, oh, I knew you were going to ring, I was just thinking about you. And so you've picked up on a psychic link, if you like.
Tina then gave me my first ever reading.
I usually ask them to give me a number that comes into their mind. First number?
15.
15, right, okay. Well, 1 and 5 makes 15, which makes 6. So 6 is about family, about appreciation, about a home life that's sort of how can I describe it? It gives you security, but it gives you pleasure. So it's a very family orientated number 6. 1 is all about you and 5 is all about balance. So to get your harmony, you have to remember that the balance starts with you.
Right.
So
Do you want my opinion on that? Or
yeah.
I'm actually not a big family person.
The power there, if you look at that, there's a lot of energy coming out of this particular person, and if we thought this was you, because you chose these cards, I would say to you that your work going forward is something that I feel will bring a lot of healing. So whatever you decide to do, and if you want to go into the presenting, so I don't know why, but I get a link with Iceland. I heard Iceland.
Iceland?
Yeah, so I'm going to say Iceland because I heard it. But there is certainly something here about you moving forward, but it will create healing. Crystals? Oh.
I was still feeling a bit sceptical, but I wanted to find out more about other mediums. So I'm on my way to Stephen Treadaway's house. I really don't know what to expect. I'm just going to ask him a few questions about his life and how he got into being a psychic. It should be good.
I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsensus medium. Then you get a psychic, is someone that does tarot cards, like these, cards here.
I see, yeah.
Or reads a crystal ball, or does more about the future. Nothing scary is going to happen. As I always say, we don't sacrifice any virgins, and I'm left in Goss to sacrifice. We don't dance around fires naked, those tickets are 30 quid. The whole idea is to bring through proof of life after death. The fact that when we leave this world, we all go on to something else. Who does believe in a life after? Let's have a look. What do you do? The first thing I ever whistled was a death march, which is a real old Victorian death march. It was the first thing I ever whistled when I was a kid. When the teachers whistled, I came out with that. I didn't come out with Hi-Ho or Mary Poppins. And I used to talk about my past lives, and in this life I'm glad I've got you and Mummy. Mummy and Daddy, because my last Mummy and Daddy died when I was a baby. And they thought I was just a bit loopy. And then when I was about 12, I started going to the spiritualist church. It amazes me sometimes when you say, you go to someone and say, I've got your mum here, or I've got your son here, and they just go, at least be a little bit grateful or pleased to hear from them. They've come from another dimension. You've only come from Yarmouth, so be a little bit pleased to hear from them.
Can anyone learn it then? Or?
I think everyone's got it. It's like singing. Most people can sing, but some people sing well, some people don't.
Yeah.
And some people have got it there to do. I think there's a lot of people that think they've got it that haven't got it. There's a lot of people that have got it that don't even realise they've got it. You'd actually make quite a good healer, you do. So.
Me?
Yeah, you'll find you'll get electric shocks off of things.
Yes.
Tingly feet. You're not having a stroke, so don't worry. There's healing energy around you. You'll get like pins and needly feelings in your fingertips. Yeah. And that's healing. So you do well if you were to do a course in Reiki or some sort of. As long as you train properly, you do really well with it. Right, so that's the healing. That's part of healing. Then you can't be much more of a healer than a nurse, can you? But the other day, I had a young girl come for a reading, and this man came through, and I could see his face, because it's not like this film The Sixth Sense where you see people with hatchets through their head necessarily, but they do show you obviously how they passed. Well, there was this young man, and he had something. His face looked like he looked like he had leprosy or something. His face was all melted. And I said, he took his own life. I said, I'm seeing a field, and I keep seeing, he's making me feel so hot. And what he'd done, he'd gone out into the field, poured petrol over himself and set himself alight. And that's why I could see his face like that. Someone called Charlie as well, who's Charlie. And there's also Tom as well. There's a lady and her daughter died in Africa, in Kenya. And they had a password. They agreed that when she came back, she'd talk about the deer. When I come back, Mum, I'll tell you about the deer. I'll tell you about the deer on the porch. I'll say the deer on the porch, deer on the porch. And this lady came for a read, and I was talking about this. And then all of a sudden this girl said, tell her about the deer, tell her about the deer, tell her about the deer. So I said, she's telling me to tell you the deer on the porch.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
Yeah,
now, only two people that knew that was her mother and her daughter that passed away. Yeah. So there's no way that you could say, oh, that could have fit in with this or it could fit in that with that. Yeah. That's evidence.
So this journey has been a real eye-opener. I think deep down we'd all like to think there's life after death and wonder if our future will be as we hoped. And if mediums and psychics are a way of showing that, then start your own journey to insight.